Hey everybody, this is Steliefty with Close.io, and in today's video we're going to talk about the most powerful question in sales that will allow you to eliminate any unexpected surprises in the sales process and give you full clarity on everything it's going to take to close a new deal. So this question is particularly important and powerful the bigger the deal, the more complex the close, the more useful and valuable this simple, very simple technique. But you can actually use this question in almost any area of life and it's always going to serve you really, really well. So here's the scenario, here's the problem. Oftentimes founders, salespeople, sales leaders come to me and they tell me about a specific deal they're trying to close, and then sooner or later in the process they tell me about these bad, evil surprises that happen, right? Everything was going well, we had a pilot, and then boom, unexpectedly, this new executive got involved in the deal and kind of derailed everything. Or all of a sudden they were excited and then they fell off a cliff. We never heard from them again, and we're following up and we just can't get them on the phone or can't get them to respond. Or everything was going well. This was the week we're supposed to close, and then they make an introduction to legal or procurement or some other department, and boom, now things are going bad. Or insert a million different scenarios in here. Usually people tend to blame the prospect, right? They go, well, I qualified them, I asked the questions, and still things just kind of don't work out, or it takes way too long or way longer than expected to close the deal. If anything unexpected happens, one way or another, it's your fault. You are in control. You should take full responsibility and ownership of the deal. And if something is derailing, if something is going off of the direction that you wanted, if something surprising or unexpected happened, it means you didn't do your homework. It means you didn't ask the right question and you didn't follow up on that question in the right way. And here's the question that you should ask as early as possible, but not earlier. And what is the question? The question is very, very simple. What will it take for you to become a customer of ours? I'll say it again. What will it take for you to become a customer of ours? What would it take for you to buy our product? That is a question you need to ask, absolutely need to ask, right after you qualified a prospect. So the first part of the interaction with a new prospect is figuring out who they are, what they need, qualifying them, trying to truly understand the customer, their needs, their problems, their circumstances, to verify that you and your solution is the right one for them. The moment that you've qualified a prospect, the moment that you've confirmed that there is a mutual fit, that's the moment you need to ask that question as early as possible, but not earlier. That's the moment. The moment you've confirmed to yourself that they are qualified, you ask them, hey, what would it take? It seems like there's a mutual fit here. It seems like there's a real opportunity for us to work together. Let me ask you, what will it take for you to become a customer of ours? And here's the important thing. The crucial thing is in the follow-up and the follow-through, not just at the beginning of the question, but is what you do afterwards. The crucial part is that you have to follow up after that question until you arrive at a virtual close, until you arrive at a point in the future with the prospect where they buy. So when you ask them, hey, what would it take for you to become a customer of ours? And they go, that's a good question. Well, we probably would have to take the information back to the team and kind of review it. Most salespeople will just go at this point, okay, that sounds good. Thank you so much. We're excited to hear back from you. Don't do that. Instead of doing that, you go, you ask them, hey, what would it take for you to become a customer of ours? And they tell you, well, we'll take the information back to the team and we'll review it. And you go, cool. Once you review it, what typically happens next? Well, the prospect goes, well, then we probably want to schedule another call and get all the stakeholders together to ask you more questions. Again, you don't stop here. You don't say, oh, great, well, I'll hear from you next week. No, you go, very good. So let's say we're on that call, we got all the stakeholders together. I answer all your questions to your satisfaction. What typically happens next? What typically happens next? Well, then we would probably want to get a pilot proposal from you. Sweet. What's typically part of the pilot proposal? How long, how short, what's the structure of it? How long are pilots? How do you measure KPIs? You go into a little bit of detail to understand that information a bit better. And once they told you a little bit, you go, all right, so we're going to put together a 5-pager of a pilot proposal, something that would typically take a month to 3 months, depending on the complexity we agree on, with very clarified KPIs. Once we send you over the pilot proposal, what typically happens next? Are we in business? Well, no. Then, we would have to go through the approval process. Tell me a little bit more about that. Well, it's, this department, this person, that person. Cool. Then we run through the pilot. Cool. And then once let's say the pilot is ended, the 3-month period is done. Can we instantly roll this over to a full contract, or how does this typically work? Help me out. Well, no. Then you're going to have to go through legal. Okay, and then once we go through legal, what happens next? Well, once you've gone through legal, then you need to go through procurement. Okay, see, at some point, most people will have the urge to just wrap it up and say, I got you, I got all the information I need, I know what it's going to take, let me run and let me hope that this deal will happen. But not you. You're learning in this video right now that you need to follow up until you've arrived at a close. So you go, okay, so we've done the pilot, we went through the internal channels, we go through legal, we go through procurement. What happens next? Are we in business? Well, no, then you have to talk to my grandmother and she needs to palm read you and look into your future. And only if you have a bright future, then we would entertain this. And you're all right, talking to grandma, got it, check. What's next? What else? Anything else? And then they go, oh, no. Then, no, at that point we would buy. Bingo. That's it. Now we got a whole roadmap from this moment where we're at all the way to the close. What are all the steps it's going to take? That is what I call the virtual close. And that, my friends, is going to provide you all the information, all the data, all the context to truly understand what is it going to take to close this customer, right? So here's all the benefits of this. Obviously, once you know what it's going to take, now you can make an educated decision if you're willing to invest everything it's going to take to close this deal and get the money back, right? Or get that prospect as a customer. Number 2 is you're going to understand who you're going to have to involve, when you're going to have to involve people. I've written about this before. That once you have that roadmap, it might allow you to parallelize some processes to cut down time. This is one of the top questions I get from people in enterprise sales is how can we shorten the very, very long sales cycle? And one way to shorten this is to understand what are all the people and all the steps and all the departments and all the stakeholders that are going to be involved in this, and can we parallelize some of these processes? Can we start talking to legal and procurement in parallel while we're running the pilot? So when the pilot is concluded and is successful, we already got the sign off from procurement and legal, and we can move on, right? So that saves us a ton of time and momentum. I hate this when people go, well, next week we're going to close this huge deal, Stella, it's going to be a massive party. And then when I check in with them, they tell me, well, something surprising happened out of left field, Stella, something unexpected. And I go, oh, what was it? And they go, well, we still have to go through procurement. How can that be surprising? How is that unexpected? You didn't do your homework, right? You did not do your homework, and it's harming your career, it's harming your business. So it helps you understand what it's going to take to close a deal. That's one benefit. It helps you understand if there's opportunities to shorten the time to close. That's another benefit. It's going to put your prospect in a mental state of imagining a future where they buy. That's good. That's what we want. We want prospects to be thinking about a future where they and us, we work together and they have purchased. We want them to think through everything it's going to take so they are truly clear that they want this every step along the way. That's another benefit. The other benefit is that it's going to raise red flags. They might give you an answer that you don't want, but you need to hear. And you want to hear that answer as early as possible and not 3 months into working this deal. What could that red flag be? Well, maybe they go, well, you'd have to go through 79 steps that will take you 48 months to close us, and our total budget is going to be not more than $125 a month. Right? Now this is going to take way too long for way too little. Let's just be friends. Let's not progress this deal any further forward, right? Or maybe they'll tell you just outright that they're actually not in the market. They were interested, they were excited, they took the meeting with you, they leaned in, they had great questions. All that can happen sometimes, all these wrong, false signals. And then you ask this question, hey, what would it take for you to become a customer of ours? And then boom, magic moments of truth. They look at you and they go, well, we would never buy this. Or they go, well, our budget is allocated till 2020, so we're really interested and we want to know more and we'd like to do a pilot, but we would not purchase until then. It's good to know, huh? Or maybe the person goes, I don't know. Beautiful. Isn't that curious? You just spend 40 minutes talking to them, figure out what they need, telling them what you provide, figure out that there's a common fit and they don't know what it would take to buy. And then you could ask why, and they might tell you, you know what, this is my first day here, I'm an intern, right? I've never purchased anything, or whatever it is, right? There are going to be red flags, and these red flags, you're not going to discover them 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, 2, 3, 4 months into the deal. You're going to discover them in the first conversation, right? You're going to gain clarity. They're going to gain clarity. All surprises, or most of the surprises, other than natural disasters and the economy crashing or something that's truly out of your power and out of your hand. But 99% of all surprises in the sales process are things that you could have foreseen if you'd taken a moment to look into the future with your prospect and to truly understand what will it take for them to become a customer. What are all the steps it's going to take for them to become a customer of yours? So ask this very powerful question. Use the virtual close. Ask, once you qualified them, what will it take for you to become a customer of ours? What would it take for you guys to buy? And then when they give you an answer, follow up with more questions until they say the beautiful words, yes. That's the moment we would actually hand you over our money and be a customer. I hope this was useful. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Make sure to go to blog.close.io and subscribe to our blog twice a week. Highly tactical and strategic advice on sales, entrepreneurship, and life. And if you ever need more feedback or want to share your success story with using this question in the virtual close, just shoot me an email at stelly@close.io. Always excited to hear from you. Now let's go get them.